up, America? This is Bubs the Beast. Now, I'm a little pissed because I just made the perfect Black America video and YouTube said it was too long. So, this is me making an attempt to do it over. Pissed though. But anyway, the reason I want to make a video about Black America is simply because I was watching the presidential press conference the other day. They had President Obama on there, and they was asking him how does he feel about Black America. Now, as we all know, President Obama rarely says exactly what he means. I think he says more what he think people want to hear, as opposed to saying what he means. In the position that he's in, he has to, because you know, if the president feel that way, then imagine how the rest of the world feel. If he really said how he felt. But I mean, it was some type of sugar-coated answer. And no, I don't blame Obama for the way that America is going right now, because America is a direct result of the way America is going right now. A couple issues I want to touch on real quick though, because video can't be that long apparently. But few of the issues I want to touch up on was my thoughts about Black America. Basically, I feel like there's no such thing as a Black America. There's no such thing as a white America or a Latino America or a Chinese America. America does not even technically exist. America was founded on a fucking lie. Just like the people who are here is basically founded on a fucking lie. Okay? There's no truth to none of this shit. Everything that the media shows us is what they want us to see. It's not always accurate or the truth. Just like Ebola up and fucking disappear out of nowhere. Although they said it came from Africa, which I don't believe either. But if you want to call it America, America is a big ass fucking toilet, if you ask me. It's in shambles. Nobody cares about anybody but they self. Everybody in America is for they fucking self. Nobody wants to see Black people thrive, white people thrive, any other race thrive, or just people period thrive. It's always a problem with somebody coming up or being successful. Then somebody wants to come and tear them down. Nobody wants to help their community, but they want somebody to look out for them. Doesn't work like that. Everybody must be a part of change in order for change to happen. Doesn't happen overnight. The situation that happened in New York with those 2 police officers, I in no way feel like justice would be served by killing them. It's not. Because for every 2 officers that you kill, there'll be 2 more on force. There'll be 2 more just like them or different. You never know. I mean, you killing people solves nothing. It really doesn't. All it does is put you in a bad position. It puts you in a bad position. And I'm going to tell y'all something else. I do not believe that the man who killed them 2 police officers did it to somehow make up for everything that's happened over the course of the last couple weeks. No, he didn't do it for that. If you ask me, the media is talking about these 2 police officers, but nobody's mentioning the girlfriend that he shot in the stomach. Is that not relevant? Does she not matter? Apparently, I think dude probably had a couple screws loose anyway, and he just said, fuck it. Police right here, so let me, go. Or maybe he shot his girlfriend first and then used that as an excuse for why he did what he did. Either way it goes, the real issue here is not about race. It's about ignorance. It's about people who believe that they're somehow better than everybody else when they're not. They're not. Nobody is better than anybody else. We all come from the same shithole and we all trying to get out of it. The problem is nobody wants to work together in order to get out of it. When I say the situation that happened with Mike Brown, that was another example of people taking justice into their own hands. It is not ours to decide. Justice is not ours to decide. It's God's decision. Fuck the judge, the DA, the litigator, who the fuck ever. They're in no fucking position to tell somebody who lives and who dies just because they went to school. Really? Tell you something else. Doctors. A doctor is no more qualified to tell you what the fuck is wrong with you than a fucking daycare provider. Because they went to school does not make them qualified to handle a job. It doesn't make them mentally stable, and it doesn't make them a good person. It makes them a doctor. How many times have you went to a hospital and a doctor physically put his hands on you? But how many times have you went to a hospital and an RN or a CNA came and did something for you? But the doctor makes more because he went to school. Really? Really? I can name how many times I saw my doctor during the course of the 3 months I was at the hospital. 3 times. I seen him 3 times. 3 times. But he gets paid more than everybody. Something don't seem right about that. Just like all these weird ass phenomenons and events that happen that suddenly just disappear. Kind of like that Sandy Hook, you know. They said it was kids and adults and all types of people killed, you know. I seen one of the people who was allegedly killed on another picture somewhere else. So did she die or didn't she? The problem is that the government has made it to where everything that we see or we think is something that's been programmed. It's not accurate. The only person who can be a good judge of character is yourself. Okay? Don't go off the media. The media don't know what the fuck they talking about, okay? The media is another form of gossip. You know how gossip goes around and it goes from this person to that person to that person. So by the time the story gets back to the person who was allegedly about, it's been twisted and turned 5 to 10 different ways to Sunday. So where's the truth? Where's the truth? Just like Illinois, Chicago, or whatever wanted to make it illegal to video record a police officer. How the fuck is that if we have freedom of speech and you allow, we have certain rights? So how can't we record you doing your job and we're out in public? I could see if we were in a private place. We're out in public. I'm on the street and I can't record you. Really? Why? Because you're doing some shit you ain't supposed to be doing, huh? Yeah, I know. Just like music. Everything that these kids are doing these days is reflected in music. It's reflected in something that they heard from somewhere else and decided to go along with. Because that's what music does. It promotes a feeling within you, which makes you feel good, happy, sad, mad, pissed, or at the same damn time. Just like I'm noticing a lot of the artists now don't have any substance. They don't talk about real life events or anything. They talk about shopping and bitches and money and ass, which is no way useful to society. It's no way helping America to get anywhere that it needs to be. It's just basically making people think material things are more important than people, which is seeming anyway, you know? Because if you got money now, you are an actual person. You matter. But if you ain't got shit, you ain't nobody. You don't matter. Fuck you. Whatever. That's how people feel. How can people feel like that? What makes you any better than anybody else? Nothing. Nothing. You can have on the most expensive shoes in the world, and I still tell you you ain't shit. Yes. Because if you piss poor morally, it does not fucking matter. You know, the people, you know, I could give you a couple examples of music changing the way people feel. I could also give you a couple examples of political activists changing the way people feel or hyping people up when they have no intentions of sticking around. Tell you what, y'all want to talk about injustice? I live in Saginaw, Michigan. There was a homeless man named Milton Hall. I don't know if that man was homeless or whatever the case may be, but word travels very fast. This man, Milton Hall from Saginaw, Michigan, was killed by about 3 police officers. He was shot numerous times. Numerous times. In a public place in front of billions of people. The police officers were not charged. This story did not make national headlines. But what makes Milton Hall any less important than anybody else? Hmm, I don't see it. Another thing, I could have sworn Al Sharpton came here or something, said a couple words, left. But you do that all the time. You do that all the time. But you only do it for stories that make the news. What about all those other stories that people hear about, but there wasn't big publicity on it, so it doesn't matter? It don't matter. You know, Mr. Al Sharpton, if you really want to do something to help the community that you say you come from, the streets that you say that you're from, that you made your way out of, then go to a children's hospital and read to children, or donate to research, or do something that doesn't involve you being on TV. Then people might actually believe that you're genuine in what you say. And no, I'm not picking on Al Sharpton. I'm just giving examples of people who like to be in the limelight but don't really want to make a difference. Who really don't want to make a difference. I mean, it's frustrating to me. It's frustrating that, I mean, kids are picking up knowledge from TV because we don't have enough money to keep schools open around here. I mean, I live in Saginaw, Michigan, and I know for a fact there are at least 5 schools closed so far. They're trying to send eighth graders to school with high schoolers, which makes no fucking sense. Those babies aren't ready to be integrated with ninth, 10th, 11th, and 12th graders. Does that sink in to you, or does that make any sense? But because we don't have the money, we're integrating schools and making kids travel halfway across the city just to get an education. And then we have these basketball players who are from here who are donating money that we're not seeing. So where is that going? When I say America is bullshit, it's bullshit at its finest. It's bullshit at its finest. They tell us go to school, get an education. People who go to college can barely get a food stamp, let alone a grant, let alone a scholarship or anything the fuck else they need. I mean, DHS, they make it so hard to where you just rather starve than to fucking ask them for any fucking thing. Do you know my health insurance was cut off for 5 or 6 months, but my doctors got paid. My physical therapist got paid, but I didn't get my physical therapy, and I had 2 insurances. I had Blue Cross and I had Medicaid, but I didn't get my physical therapy. But they got paid. My hospital stay was paid for, but nothing else got paid for. My scripts couldn't get them. So what's going on in the world? Where do we go wrong when we care more about money than people? It's fucked up. It's fucked up. The point I'm making with this whole Black America spiel is that we are supposed to be a country united, not a country divided. And it seems like the more as time progresses, it's just proven that we we can't come to an agreement to even do small things. To even do small things. So imagine our world for our children, the world that we leaving for them. Is this really what we want them to go through? And how does it get any better if nobody wants to be the change? I don't know, y'all. I'm gonna pray. Y'all better pray too.